Warm Water Wars and Fiesta brings African values on the platform and presents them to the rest of the world. And in this 19th episode of the show, Stop Wars, Stop Violence, Stop Terrorism. Then the refugee situation in the world will get better, and why not a complete eradication of the problem? It is within this backdrop that delegates from civil society organizations will converge on Washington, D.C. tomorrow. The Global Refugee Crisis Summit is organized under the banner of Humanity Helping Sudan and the World Bank Group. Siwe Emily is one of the members of the organizing team of this summit. And from Washington, D.C., she and any member of her team throw more light on tomorrow's meeting. That will be right ahead in this edition of African Fiesta, coming to you from Africa's Apex One Radio. So do not go away. Adela Elat is one up-and-coming Cameroonian movie actress. Every director, producer would press their fingers on the table to argue for. Her performance in the art she knows best speaks volumes, especially at a time her country's film industry is encroaching into the green pasture of cinema. How it all started, how she got on board Bad Angel, which is the latest sensation in Cameroon, what distance she has covered with her career this far, where she sees it in the coming years, and more are the things the newfound movie heroine will be explaining on African Fiesta today. She joins us from the seaside resort of Limbe in this episode of African Fiesta. Then we shall also move next door to Mutengene, where our man Titus Banyo has been visiting. He is going to paint a picture of that great southwest town. And of course, we shall be listening to Wa Musi, filmmaker and communication specialist, on a recent workshop on upgrading media skills through the use of word and pictures. Lots and lots of other exciting items, including field reports from Valerie Dulafe in Yaoundé, Cameroon, Solomon Atta in Johannesburg, South Africa, and of course, lots more. And so, this is African Fiesta number 19. First things first, usually we begin by giving thanks to God the Father Almighty, because it is thanks to Him that we make it here every Wednesday to be able to present this very great radio rendezvous. And so if you are listening to us, wherever you are around the world, just bow down your heads. Let's say thank you, God, for just a moment. We shall be doing that with the Orchestre Gospel International of the DR Congo.
David a dit, je n'ai jamais vu un juste abandonné, ni son fils mania son père. Je n'ai jamais vu
This is Apex One Radio.
Hello, mana maison des pains, hello, mana bana notre père, hello, mana bana bisese, hello, mana misela musase bolembi na mwani bolembi soko lembi te tomola loboko yebi bale tomola lokolo. Yes, Lama, Abali Saka, Amoti Saka.
Father, in the name of your Son Jesus Christ, we want to exalt your name. We want to thank you for the great things you've done in our lives. Father, thank you so much for this great show. We thank you for the people who take off time to participate on it. Thank you, Lord, for this new edition of African Fiesta. We pray for inspiration. We pray for foresightedness. We pray for everything that can make this show a great one. Father, we pray that today's edition is going to touch somebody, and at the end of the day, we would have gone a long way to provide help to our society. Bless the listeners and the production team so that we can continue to praise your name. Through your Son, Jesus Christ, we've prayed. Amen. Odo Tire, beautiful gospel piece there by the Orchestra Gospel International from the DR of Congo. And of course, that one has brought the time to 14 minutes past 10 here in the studio of Apex One Radio, listening to the 19th episode of African Fiesta with Ernest, Kanjo, and of course, we're stretching our tentacles and reaching all of you out there. Our numbers are 614-525-9398, 614-525-9398. You are also free to press your fingers on those numbers and you'll be live with us on Apex One Radio. We make it interactive all the time. And of course, it's going to be a fantastic episode this day, October the 14th, 2015. Lots and lots of exciting items coming up right ahead in this episode of the show.
Fondation longueur, Ayabasi.
And so we are going to set the decor with longer in that beautiful one titled Conjuncture. It's a beautiful piece there by the legendary Makossa artist. And we are saying welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, listeners of Apex One Radio, and of course fans of African Fiesta. It's going to be a fantastic edition because we are going to have some very dynamic young Africans speaking, beginning with Adela Elat, Cameroonian actress who will be speaking from Victoria. I call it Limbe, the seaside resort of Cameroon, and she is an actress par excellence. She's currently on board Bad Angel, which is the new Cameroon sensation. It is a TV series that has been on the air for the past 2 weeks, and Adela will be telling us about her experience in this series, her career, and of course lots more. Then we shall make a stop over in Bamenda, where Wabusi will be ready to tell us about the workshop he and journalist Komi Musa facilitated a few days ago. And then we shall also make another great stopover in Kampala, the capital of Uganda, where fashion model Mukisa Houston Sheila will be talking to us as well. Then, when we make a stopover in Washington, D.C., it will be the turn of Emily Siwe. And she will be throwing more light on the Global Refugee Summit that takes place in that city tomorrow, Thursday. But for now, let's have some music. Soon after that, we shall be making our first stopover, which should be Mutengene, where our man Titus Banyo is on standby.
J'ai crié, quel malheur pour l'humanité. Que va devenir le monde s'il faut mourir en faisant l'amour? Le docteur arrive, il m'a dit tu es stupide mon cher. Après tout tu dois mourir un jour comme un autre. Si vous buvez trop, il y aura l'abcès de foie. Si vous mangez trop, tant pis pour vous, c'est l'estomac. Il y a des avions, des voitures, bien sûr toujours il y a la mort. Il y a des belles sikines, bien sûr toujours il y a la mort. Aïe. Tu dois mourir un jour comme un autre. Aïe aïe aïe.
Il m'a dit que le sida c'est le mal du siècle. Maladie d'amour, maladie du sang.
Le docteur m'a dit, il m'a dit un jour tu dois mourir. Comme le cancer, la tuberculose, la maladie du sommeil. Quant au sida, si vous faites l'amour, n'importe quand et n'importe comment, ça te dit qu'on l'hygiène, le sida viendra. Aïe aïe aïe.
Il m'a dit que le sida c'est le mal du siècle. Maladie d'amour, maladie du sang.
J'ai prié à mon Dieu que va devenir le monde aïe. Quant à moi, longa, je vais abandonner l'amour. Le docteur arrive, il m'a dit tu es vraiment stupide. S'il faut abandonner l'amour, pourquoi donc tu es né mon fils? Aïe aïe aïe, tu sais pas que tu dois mourir un jour. Comme toutes les autres maladies, le sida est une maladie. Si j'avais fait des grandes études de langue française, comme c'est la symbole du Sénégal, je saurais peut-être. Si je pouvais parler français comme même Césaire des Antilles, je saurais peut-être l'explication du mot conjoncture. Aïe aïe aïe.
La conjoncture, la crise économique, c'est la sécheresse des balcons. La conjoncture, la crise économique, c'est la sécheresse des balcons.
Si je pouvais devenir un jour grand économiste, comme M. Jacques Delors ou M. Kajine Fosso, je trouverai une solution pour sauver cette crise. Vraiment mes amis, longa, je n'y peux rien. Aïe aïe aïe, longa.
La conjoncture, beautiful piece there by Longue, L'Homme Libérateur. It's coming to you from my Pet One Radio. And of course, you're listening to the 19th episode of African Fiesta. In a couple of seconds, we shall be making our first stop. We should be Mutengene. So don't go away, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, are you just joining us? Then you are listening to African Fiesta with Ernest Kanjo. Now, our first stop.
Okay, our first stop is definitely Mutengene. Mutengene is a very popular town in Fako division of the Southwest Province, from where our man Titus Banyo will be speaking. Titus has been visiting Mutengene for the past couple of days, and Titus doubles as the CEO of Batimo FM, our sister radio station. And from Mutengene, Titus now joins us. Hello, Titus. Welcome to the show.
Yes, Ernest, good afternoon from Cameroon to the entire crew of African Fiesta. As you rightly said, Ernest, I'm reporting from Mutengene in the southwest region of Cameroon. Ernest, the town of Mutengene, known to others as Chad, is an interesting town that has a long-standing history. It is a meeting point for those going to Boya, Limbe, Moyuka, or Douala. During the day, Ernest, the street hawking characterizes the day, and one can see people moving up and down, engaged in different activities. The tempting smell of roasted fish and meat, popularly known as soya, would definitely awake one's appetite to go for these delicacies. Of course, bars and other roadside kiosks feed passers-by's ears with music. And talking about the music, Ernest, the famous genre Makusa, that's the famous Cameroonian genre Makusa, mixed with music from neighboring Nigeria, would fit one's ears as you move through the streets, be it from Boya Road, Chico Road, or Limbe Road. One thing that I also noticed during my stay here in Mutengene, and that is that some of the local radio stations pay more attention to foreign music than made in Cameroon music. Actually, I have been wondering whether this is something that is a routine or is just for just the month of October. Life at night in Mutengene takes a different twist. Those who come back from work and who have the daily routine of taking a bottle of beer would flood the bars, enjoying themselves as if to be saying, life is short, let's enjoy. The air at night is also filled with the sweet aroma of roasted fish and soya, which are sure companions to beer. Yes, Ernest, Mutengene is not lagging behind when it comes to discussing football issues. The recent discussions are centered on the defeat of Cameroon by Nigeria 3-0. Interesting enough is that some out here still hold the view that since Eto'o's departure, the Lions' performance has been dropping, and that only his presence on the football pitch gives Cameroon an extra look. Yes, Ernest, Mutengene is a beautiful town, and if you happen to come visiting, never hesitate to visit this town, which has one of the oldest bars, known as Telepodium, probably named after an early TV program, Telepodium. Our man, Solomon Atata, will definitely have more to tell us because he has more about this place. But Ernest, I hope my presence has been felt. Special greetings to Ken Charlie Monet, Ifan Akwala, Adik Marcel, Crystal Beauty, AJ Asong, Valerie Tata, Dulafe, Solomon Atata, of course, out there in Johannesburg, South Africa. I'll definitely be with you next week, God willing, but then it will definitely be in Bamenda, the northwest region of Cameroon. Yes, Titus Banyo, hope to have you, or hope to have me next week on the program African Fiesta. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Titus Banyo. Beautiful report there from Mutengene. What a beautiful way of beginning African Fiesta. Titus, thank you so much. I can imagine how you feel 17 years after you left Fako Division, and of course 12 years after you left Cameroon. You are going back to visit some of those places that marked your life back in the days. I'm quite convinced that you had a fantastic time there in Mutengene. Call it charm. Titus, we hope to have you again next week for yet another beautiful report there. And you promise that this time it will be from Abakwa, call it Bamenda, the regional headquarters of the Northwest in Cameroon. Titus, do have a fantastic rest of the Wednesday out there. And may God bless you. Let's have some music and we shall be right back. This is African Fiesta on Apex One Radio.
Tout le monde. Good luck Africa, c'était le passage, la jeunesse du monde en avant. Travaillez, prenez de la peine.
Un jeune qui donne l'espoir à la musique camerounaise, lui c'est Philippe Miloko dans CD Le Passage, une très très belle chanson.
People where they talk say Philippe Miloko now, I'm son of God. Ebote de bisona wa betande lambola penya o misoma mane. Sonandolo na kusino o minyama take motibi weni sane. No. Namenda de jombawa na misoma miye bukatewa sonandolo na kusino ominyama take motimbi weli sane ndolo namenda de jombawa na misoma miye bukatewa c'est comme ça que l'amour reste leader. C'est comme ça que l'amour reste leader. Sonandolo na kusino ominyama take motimbi weli sane dolo na mena de jomwawa na misoma miye bukatewa sumondolo na sosondolo.
Spécial dédicace à tous les amis de Apex One Radio qui se trouvent du côté de Paris, hein. Et je pense aussi à tous les amis de cette très grande émission qui se trouve du côté de l'Allemagne. I'm also thinking of you out there listening to us from Douala, Cameroon, and of course my friends in Bamenda Ain't Boya. This is African Fiesta number 19 coming to you from Apex One Radio with Ernest, Kanjo, and of course the entire team of Apex One Radio. We're doing the 19th episode this day, Tuesday, October the 13th, 2014. Just right ahead, we shall be making another stopover, perhaps this time in Washington, D.C., where Siwe Emily will be telling us about the Global Refugee Summit that takes place in that great city come tomorrow, Thursday. And don't forget, we have a special visit to Kampala, the capital of the great Uganda, this day on Apex One Radio. And so, fashion model Mukisa Houston Shela will be speaking live from that end, just in this episode of African Fiesta. And also, we shall be talking to Wa Musi, filmmaker and communication specialist. Then, our reporters are also on the ground. Valerie Dulafe will be speaking live from Cameroon's political capital, Yaoundé. And Solomon Atta will be live from Johannesburg, South Africa.
Quelle que soit la durée de la nuit, le soleil finira par se lever. Le Pan-Africa. Natena wenge wenyile noi. Namasenga bobe. Natena wenge wenyile no. Namasenga bobe. Aimons-nous les uns les autres, laissons la haine. Nous n'avons plus droit à l'erreur, Africa, maman. Tabawa sinye sendando umatena tombanoe moto anga menende dondo mna sango vivons la main dans la main oh 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 ndolonde nyebwame la haine n'a jamais payé Samora Machelo.
And so Cameroon is caught in the euphoria of Bad Angel. Bad Angel is a TV series that is currently being screened by the Cameroon Radio and Television CRTV, which is the national broadcaster. This series is shot by young, up-and-coming, dynamic Cameroonian filmmakers, especially those who hail from the English-speaking part of that country. And so that series has been on the CRT airwaves for the past 2 weeks and is already catching a lot of attention. One of the actresses in that series is Adela Elat. And of course, she'll be joining us in this episode of African Fiesta to tell us about her story in Bad Angel and her experience in the film sector this far. Adela will be joining us just right ahead in this episode of African Fiesta, coming to you from Apex One Radio with Ernest Kanjo. But before she comes up, listen to this beautiful one titled Konta Kinte by Junior Senga.
Je vous salue. Wanja, wanja, wanja. Wanja, wanja. Wanja, wanja. Wanja, wanja. Wanja comme moi. Wanja jusqu'au matin. Djamboula jusqu'au chap. Wanja, wanja. Wanja, wanja, wanja. Wanja. Wanja jusqu'au matin. Personne ne commode. Wanja. Djamboula jusqu'au chap. Wanja, wanja, wanja. Wanja. L'humaniste malon détient du Cameroun.
Like I said, she's one of the star actresses of Bad Angel, the TV series that is currently being screened by the Cameroon Radio and Television CRTV, the national broadcaster. Her name is Adela Elat, and she'll be speaking from Limbe Live. She'll be telling us about her career and, of course, her experience on this great TV series. This is Apex One Radio broadcasting from Columbus, Ohio, United States of America, with Ernest Kanjo. At exactly 10:35, let's move to Victoria. But before she comes on, just listen to this.
With Ernest Kanjo. Now, our next stop.
Okay, our next stop is definitely Victoria. Let me call it Limbe. And from there, Adela Elat now joins us. Welcome, Adela.
Thank you very much, Ernest Kanjo, and thank you to your team, Apex One Radio.
Okay, thank you so much for accepting this interview. So, how is Limbe today?
Oh, Linda is very fine, thank you. Especially with the breeze from the sea.
So where are you now? Are you at Down Beach, at Mile 4, at Class Quarters, at Church Street? Where precisely are you now?
I'm at Rose Bowl, on the location of Bad Angel.
Rose Bowl. Okay. That is where the Bad Angel team is currently camping, right?
Yes, that's where we are lodged.
Okay. That's
like a camp.
That's beautiful. And you've been there for like 9 months, I guess.
Yes, actually, about 9 months.
That's
how long we've been here.
Right. This is serious. Cameroon is beginning to produce career actresses, eh? Okay. Adela, once again, you're welcome to the show. I can say that 100 times. Okay, so now tell us, who is Adela Ellard?
As you've already mentioned, Adela Ellard is an actress, CEO of May Foundation, and an upcoming producer.
Right. And
So that's who Adela Ellard is.
wow. So how long have you been in the film industry in Cameroon?
I've been there for about 2-3 years. 2012. That's where I started.
Right. You got into the industry in 2012. Wow. That's great. And
Yes.
tell me, you are an actress whom everybody talks about these days. What motivated you into acting, first of all?
Ernest Kanjo. It's passion. I used to watch films I still watch films. I just want to say what really pushed me into wanting to be an actor.
Right.
So many years back, more than a decade ago, I watched films and then turned to, want to be like this actor that I see on screen. I admire them so much that my sisters and brothers used to think I'm mad because I would imitate them, trying to do what they did. And so the passion started burning and burning and burning, and it led me to where I am right now. So my motivation is passion.
Right. And that is movie addict talking there. Adela, tell me, apart from Bad Angel, which you are currently shooting and which is already screening on CRTV, which other movies have you featured in or starred in as an actor?
Okay. In 2012, I did University Girls, which is one of the most popular movies around. Produced by Mina Christine, based in the US.
Okay.
So that one was very, very popular. Followed by U-Turn, produced by Ashwegwa in Douala.
Right.
We shot that one in Douala. Yeah, Sodom and Gomorrah in Bamenda. And I also starred in Kanya Kwai's Viri and the African Guest.
Right.
So there was this other one, Wrong Combination, which is now online on Soul Africa TV.
Okay.
So you can watch it there. Wrong Combination.
Right.
So those are some of the movies I have done so far. And I've equally done Smoke Screen by Ivan Name.
Okay.
I think that one is to be released soon.
And
So those are some of the things.
And Bad Angel, I guess, is your first TV series.
Series, yeah, actually.
Okay.
It's the
Now,
first.
tell us more about your latest project, which should be Bad Angel, and how did you get on this project, and what has been your experience so far?
I had to travel to Yaoundé to attend the casting call. The Premier Film team had an audition in Yaoundé. I traveled to attend it. I auditioned for a role.
Okay.
And then that's how I got into Bad Angel.
Right.
And so far, it's been a very hectic experience, having to do this for the first time. A series of 6 seasons. It's huge. It's hectic. And I can't just begin to explain it. Maybe I need to use well-labeled diagrams because I've never done this before.
Wow.
But it's good. It's good. I like it.
It's definitely an exciting experience. I'm talking about Bad Angel, which is today Cameroon's sensation, and of course it's been screened on CRTV. We're speaking to one of the actresses in that great series. Her name is Adela Ellard. She's speaking live from Limbe, and of course she is an up-and-coming Cameroonian actress. And of course Adela is live on Apex One Radio's African Fiesta with Ernest Kanjo this day, Tuesday, October the 14th, 2015. Now, Adela, back to you. Who are some of the actors you've worked with so far in your career? And what has been your experience working with them? Could you just cite some names?
I've worked with Moma Pascal, Imade Cynthia, Ngonga Elizabeth, Epole Jeffrey, Njika Solange, Kwa Kingsley. And I've equally worked with Camilla Mberikwe from Nigeria and one movie called Mama Iko in Cameroon. So those are some of the people I've worked with. Right. And I would always cite this, my brothers and sisters, because we have talent. It's undisputed. There is no argument. We have talent. So these, my colleagues, are wonderful. I will always cite them any day, anytime.
Of course, she will always cite those colleagues of hers any day, anytime. Adela, I understand the industry is still young, and at times you shoot movies, these movies don't get to be released. Those are some of the problems you face. But I would also imagine that there are other challenges you face as a Cameroonian actress. What could be some of these challenges?
Well, as an actor, it's never easy. Because sometimes you get to receive a script like a day before the shooting.
Right.
It doesn't give you enough time. It doesn't give you enough time to prepare for your role, to do enough research to get into your character. So I think that's always a major challenge. But I know as the days go by, things are improving. You get to give you a script maybe a month or two. You know, some productions even give like a year before time to really get you leave the moment, to leave the character. So those are some of the things that are really challenging as an actor. But when they give you that, the pressure is high. You need to do exactly what the character wants without you knowing what the character wants. You understand me?
Right. Now,
character demands. So,
okay. Now, tell me. Okay, sorry, apparently we have some issues there. Adela will definitely come back to you. That was Adela Elat speaking from Victoria Limbe, and she's live on Apex One Radio's African Fiesta. Okay, let's have some music then. We'll be right back with her.
Amuna Africa, Amuna Rwanda, Wanja comme moi, Wanja jusqu'au chap, Wanja jusqu'au match, Wanja, Bakuba, 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 vive l'Afrique, Wendemba.
African Fiesta paying tribute to Cameroonian legendary Ngale Jozo. And also in this edition of the show, we shall be paying tribute to yet another legend. This time, one of them who just passed on. His name is Njombole, and Valerie Dulafi will be telling us more about that from Yaoundé, Cameroon. Meantime, we are doing everything to go back to Limbe and complete this radio talk with actress Adela Elat. A special good morning to you, Elvis Tanui, alias Daddies. He is the director of the TV series Bad Angel. I'm also thinking of you, producer Ivan Name.
Nasulangalo molande bebe yo na ibiye bae. Nasulangalo molande bebe yo na ibiye bae. Sonamuna ibengo na kusala bodi bukimo. Sonamuna ibengo na solo na babe kwadi. Sonamuna ibengo na kusala bodi bukimo. Wele so nangba bongo. Aye nangba bongo. Nangba bongo. Aye nangba bongo. Nangba bongo. Bale nangba bongo. Nangba bongo. Bale nangba bongo. Mangabali Salo. Mangabali Salo.
Nabwa Bongo, beautiful piece there by Ngale Jojo. I'm taking you down memory lane. And of course, we're broadcasting from Columbus, Ohio, United States of America. This is African Fiesta number 19. At exactly 10 minutes to 11, let's go back to Victoria, where Adela Elat is back on the airwaves so that we can continue this beautiful radio talk. Welcome back, Adela.
Thank you very much, Kanjo.
I'm sorry about that technical hitch, but we're back on the airwaves.
It comes with the territory.
Right.
With machines, you never can be too sure.
Right, I know. So now, 3 years is time enough for you to be able to assess the film landscape in Cameroon. How do you look at it?
I think we've done a great job so far. We have improved a lot, given the fact that yesterday you cannot stand and talk about Cameroon creative industry, especially the movie making part of it. Or you couldn't even write anything home about Cameroon cinema.
Right.
But today we stand tall. I stand to tell you, we are proud. Because Cameroon is making it. We have improved the images, the sound, the storytelling, the actor's performance, everything has changed. And now the only thing lacking is the distribution. That's the marketing aspect.
Right.
But I think we'll get there. We are on the right path.
And it's coming from the actress herself, Adela. They will get there definitely. They've improved in sound, in image, quality, story, and what have you.
Story,
but then,
everything.
Okay, so hopefully the marketing aspect of it will be a thing of the past in the nearest future. Okay, and now
in no time.
Okay, so tell us, what are the projects you have in the pipeline?
Okay, for now, I'm still doing the Bad Angel TV series.
Okay.
After which, I'm traveling out of the country to do a film project.
Right.
I'll be leaving tomorrow, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm leaving the country tomorrow to do a film project. When I get back, there is this other one, Nights in Gemba.
Right.
That will be shot in Bamenda. So for now, those are the 2 projects I have in the pipeline.
Right. So hopefully we are going to trail you wherever you're going to, and we'll hit you. We'll give you a call on set, and you will be able to tell us.
Of course, of course.
Unveil
You'll just find out
project.
when I have done it already,
Okay.
and I'm coming back.
Right.
For now, it's still a secret.
Okay. Now, Adela, I understand you are a philanthropist and you run a charity foundation. What is it called, and for how long has this been existing?
The foundation is called May Foundation. May Foundation. It's been for some months now. It's not up to a year though.
Okay.
So it's young.
So what motivated you to create it?
I think to look at the fact that women and girls and even children are the majority of every population, including Cameroon.
Okay.
But I see them being relegated to the background on a daily basis. If you look at them economically, politically, and socioculturally, both in the private and the public sphere, you will see that women, ladies, are always somewhere down there.
Okay.
You know, they don't actually, the society does not see them as something. You know, so that's what actually motivated me to come up with a foundation like this that could help women to gain ground and let their voices heard.
And so what does May Foundation do precisely?
Okay, May Foundation visits orphanages through charity.
Okay.
We buy stuff and we take them to the orphanages. We organize seminars, training sessions for women on how to empower themselves economically. Those are most of the things we do. Our goal is to create an opportunity for sustainable livelihoods for women, girls, and the children.
Right.
You know, encourage mostly the single mothers that sometimes the society looks at them as something else that does not even have a name. We encourage them. We could give them loans to start up a petit business, and they could pay up, you know, after they have made something out of the business. So, briefly, that's what we do in the foundation.
And do you have partners?
For now, no. Remember I said we're still young. We're just trying to, you know, get big. We're still growing. So when we've gotten to where we are wanting to, then I think at that time we will start looking for partners and working together. We just want to do something for now as May Foundation, so that when the partners even see it, they themselves will be interested in wanting to join us.
That is up-and-coming Cameroonian actress giving back to her community through a charity foundation. Her name is Adela Elad. Adela, we want to laud your efforts in trying to help.
Thank you.
Trying to help others out there, and it's definitely a project which should be supported. And so if you have an appeal to potential funders, what would you be telling them vis-a-vis your foundation?
We are calling on the public, the potential funders, to pay attention to some of these issues faced by women. They can always do this through donating to the foundation, you know, because there is a lady somewhere, there is a girl somewhere, there is a child somewhere suffering that only their help, their fund, their support could actually take this child out of the street. Or maybe get an exercise book for a girl child to go to school, or a woman to get a training on how to develop herself economically and socioculturally. So I'm actually calling on the public, especially potential funders, to look into these and not to pay a deaf ear to the women and their issues.
Don't pay a deaf ear to women and their issues. Adela, we are about to run off this interview, but then if there is a film maker, a producer in and out of Cameroon who would want to have you in their project, and if there is a potential funder of your foundation, how can they get in touch with you?
We have an email address, forallgroup@yahoo.com. We have mariken37@yahoo.com. Then you can equally contact me on Facebook at Della. That's my Facebook account. Then you can get my contact number. Can I give the number?
Go ahead. You're free.
Okay. 6639-45899. So with that, you can always contact me.
Adela, we want to thank you so much for being part of this edition of African Fiesta. We wish you all the best.
The pleasure.
And
the pleasure was all mine, Kanjo.
Right. So do have a fantastic rest of the day out there. And did you say you are coming up this week on Bad Angel? Because apparently your scenes haven't come up yet, I guess.
Yeah, just stay tuned to Bad Angel. You'll see the Inspector of Police.
Okay.
Inspector Patience.
Inspector Patience.
Stay tuned.
Right.
I'm sure you're going to love that character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Adela, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And
thank you very much. Thank you to the listeners of Apex One Radio. I must say you're doing a good job.
Thanks for the compliments.
Keep up. And do not rest on your laurels.
Right. May God bless you. Bye-bye.
Right.
Action. W qui pulvérise l'ambiance à travers l'atmosphère.
Apprenez à vous taire quand les grands parlent. Voici Bouki Solo et Willy de Paris. Ça mérite quand même un lot de consolation. Toutes ces années que j'ai passées à tes côtés dans la galère. Ça mérite quand même un lot de consolation. Toutes ces années que j'ai passées à tes côtés dans la misère. Au lieu de cela, au lieu de ça, tu me quittes. Juste au moment où tu commences à travailler. Oh.
Edani Manduta, Dayaka.
L'amour est sucré quand on est séparé. Oh, oh. L'amour est sucré quand on est distant. L'amour est sucré quand on est séparé. Oh, oh. Pour qui je peux te biper le matin, tu peux me biper à midi. On peut se biper le soir avant de faire dodo. Ernest est sombé, la grosse pointure de Paris. Pendant plus de 15 ans, tu m'as pompé des enfants.
Chancelier.
Pendant plus de 15 ans, tu m'as pompé des enfants.
Populaire.
Dolo super dolo, dolo over dolo. Je peux te biper le matin, tu peux me biper à midi. On peut se biper le soir avant de faire dodo. À Selga, les têtes passantes de Galim, la référence. Pendant plus de 15 ans, tu m'as pompé des enfants. Pendant plus de 15 ans, tu m'as pompé des enfants. Dolo over dolo, dolo super dolo. Je peux te biper le matin, tu peux me biper à midi. On peut se biper le soir avant de faire dodo. Docteur Clément Petsoko, toujours efficace. Mais une fois sous un même toit, alors les problèmes commencent. Surtout quand les habitudes commencent à converger. Commence à converger. On cherche voisin moyen pour tout casser. Les étudiants ont que notre parrain.
Just right ahead, we shall be receiving Crystal Beauty of the Crystal Beauty Show. And soon after her first appearance, she will be coming back to present an artist here on Apex One Radio.
Bébé Ingrid de Paris, danse comme papa. Dansez la tendance. Tendance, 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 tendance. Moi ça. Tout le monde le met en l'air. Au podcast, en fait. Moi ça. Tu vas me payer. Tu vas me payer. Tu vas me payer, Boukio. Tu vas me payer. Tu vas me payer, oui. Tu vas me payer. Tu vas me payer, chérie. Tu vas me payer. Monte et descends, tu vas me payer, maman. Tu vas me payer. Jolie prise à quoi l'amour. Magnétophone à Douala. Elvis Mou, danse alors. Ah oui, Lio. Chico Sadi. Aboukio. Maman Sama. Jolie prise. Chico Sadi. Jimmy Brice. Banda yo mandenga moema baba iboibiye. Oibiye panandolo andolo bebe. Banda yo masese moema baba iboibiye onyolandolo. Jean-Jacques Ike de la Safakam. On fait la fête. Dansez, 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 dansez. Nettoyez le passage et les mannequins passent. Nettoyez. Nettoyez. Alain Gatia, le seul noir qui vit aux côtés du roi d'Espagne. Simalem Night Club à Madrid. Maman Kobi, on dit quoi? Moi ça, moi ça, moi ça. Docteur Mohem, c'est toujours en veste. Andolo, andolo, maman. Andolo, andolo, andolo. Oui, bien bon, andolo, andolo, bébé. Bébé, oh. Le batteur imbattable. Hugo Nyamenya Daido, Sukamori.
Insupportable, c'est pas la peine.
Okay, that one is titled Mind Your Business by Prince Deji Eyango. We are not going to listen to that in its entirety right now. We're definitely going to come back to it because Crystal Beauty is on the line. And from Dallas, Texas, she now joins us. Crystal, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How are you today?
I am doing great.
I can imagine. How is the weather out there in Dallas today?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. And you just coming from a beautiful weekend, eh?
Yeah.
Have you recovered yet?
Not yet. I'm still in bed.
Okay. I know you had the hectic time out there with some African icons in the entertainment industry, including Uganda's and Kansime. And you had this maiden opportunity to meet her. Is that the case?
Yes.
And so, Crystal, were you excited meeting this illustrious daughter of Africa who has been making the continent proud?
Oh yeah, it was very exciting. We actually met by chance. I wasn't even expecting to meet her because I rented a hotel to do my interview, and I was taking a quick break, and I decided to go outside to get something from my car.
Right.
So when I was stepping out of the elevator, she was getting into the elevator, and that's how we met.
Okay, yeah. And so tell me your experience with this young and dynamic comedian.
It was very wonderful. Actually, when she saw me, she actually started complimenting my outfit because I was wearing an attitude shirt with the black pants and heels. So she was like, "Oh my goodness, you look so beautiful!" And then she immediately, it was surprising because she was just acting as though she knew me from somewhere. She just immediately took my phone from my hand because I was, texting on my phone.
Right.
And she took the phone from my hand and she was like, "Selfie." And she actually went to my phone and went through all my apps until she found the camera. And she was like, "Oh, selfie." And she took a picture. And, then I asked her if she could do an interview. And she goes, "Talk to my manager." And she does that walk that she normally would do on her show. It was so funny.
Right.
And then she just stomped out and she had this dramatic exit. But it was funny, and yeah, she was very nice.
Now, was the consumer you met in Dallas the same consumer you see online, watch on YouTube?
Oh yeah. Like I said, she had this dramatic, storming out of the scene type of thing.
Right.
But besides that, she was very nice. She was very nice. I think her personality is very nice, but then she has that character that she plays on the show.
Right. And do you remember anything she told you briefly?
I'm sorry?
Do you remember anything she told you?
We didn't really talk. Like I said, she just took my phone and, she was taking pictures. I actually did most of the talking with her manager.
Okay.
Because she was with her manager at the time we met. So she just like I said, she stomped out and then the manager was there and me and the manager talked.
And so it was an Afrima weekend out there in Dallas. Which other African artists did you meet and greet out there?
I met Casey, who is the Nigerian musician.
Okay.
I met him at the hotel too. When I was returning from my car, he was at the entrance. And because Casey and I had met before a couple of times. So although he did not know me per se, but he recognized my face. So when he saw me, he was just smiling, like, "Hey, you!" He didn't really recognize my name or anything like that. But he could recognize my face, and he just like, "Hey, you!" And I went to him and I took a picture with him, and he did a shout out for me. And I did ask him for an interview, but I guess he was too busy to make it. So
okay, Krista, thank you so much. This is
right.
Entertainment Family Talk. That was just an icebreaker. When we go to Washington D.C. and come back to you, you will be presenting an artist to us. Thank you so much, Krista. We'll be back with you.
Thank you.
Wati mambo waswe beli bo sendemba nani bo bongo amamo wati ba yele kongo beli bo sendemba o mabulele nyolo na musambo mongo asinge dibe wa musa eo nani bo bongo apao wati ba yele kongo beli bo sendemba pourquoi tout cette guerre pourquoi tous ces complexes pourquoi cette jalousie bongo bikwati baye kongo beni bosenemba ikona ikaba emuni mwese bikwati bambu waswe beni bosenemba de construire, alors que nous allons mourir en laissant toutes ces histoires. Nous allons mourir en laissant tous ces plaisirs. Oh, nous allons mourir en laissant tous ces souffrances. Oh, lolo. Il faut savoir.
Un très grand monsieur de la musique camerounaise, lui, c'est Prince Ndedi Eyango in that beautiful one there titled Mind Your Business. Mind Your Business is a 1996 production which Eyango did while he was in the United States of America. 2 weeks ago, we had him on this station as special guest on a special show. Prince Ndedi Eyango on Apex One Radio's Africa Fiesta this day. La jalousie n'est pas du tout bonne, hein? La calomnie aussi n'est pas bonne. Lui, c'est Prince Ndedi Eyango. And of course, you're listening to African Fiesta number 19. Just right ahead, we shall be making a stopover in Washington, D.C., where Emily Siwe will be telling us about the upcoming global refugee summit that takes place out there tomorrow. And so, for the past couple of months, the refugee crisis around the world has been ringing a bell. It's been movement of people from one end of the world to the other because of violence, terrorism, and what have you. And so, it's really been terrible. But then, this situation has to come to an end. So, what can be done to avert this situation? What can be done to reduce or even eradicate terrorism? What can be done? And so, if the solution is going to come through summits, then so be it. We shall be talking about one of those summits that takes place in Washington, D.C. tomorrow. And of course, one of the organizers will be joining us just right ahead in this episode of African Fiesta. But before Emily Siwe comes up, listen to this and enjoy it.
La nourriture des grammes, les petits ne la mangent pas. André Doris à Charleville. Écoutez ça. Je suis tombé amoureux d'une belle fille.
And that one is titled Amour Sincère.
Depuis qu'elle est partie, je n'ai plus l'envie d'aimer souvenir.
And the author Chimi Toro.
André Joël. Elie. L'amour que j'ai pour toi est un amour sincère. Soumis, écoute-moi bébé. Tu es si loin de moi, tout près de mon cœur. Chérie, ça te souvient. Sony, sais-tu que moi je t'aime? Sony, pourquoi es-tu si loin de moi? Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime, bébé? Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime, je t'adore? Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime, bébé? Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime, je t'adore? Ah, André Joseph, le petit daddy. Est-ce que tu sais ce que je sais, bébé? Est-ce que tu crois en ce que moi je crois, ma doudou? Ma choro aneme, miga matinga tutume. Ma yiwae, amiga matinga zate. Ma choro aneme, miga matinga tutume. Ma yiwae, amiga matinga zate. Aïe aïe aïe, André Lorette, la petite bijou. Quand moi j'écoute ta voix, je peux mourir de joie. Ta petite tête, bébé, me fait couler les larmes à Sony. Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime, bébé? Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime, je t'adore? Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime, bébé? Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime, je t'adore? André Armand, le russe, champion des champions. L'amour est un poison que je consomme avec raison. Je me tiens comme une flamme quand t'es pas à mes côtés. Tu es parti loin de moi pour oublier nos erreurs du passé. Voilà le amiga matinga tutume. Maïwae amiga matinga bébé oh. Voilà le amiga matinga tutume. Maïwae amiga matinga bébé oh. André Joël, Elie. Si tu m'entends Sony, écoute ma chanson. Tu y trouveras ce que je n'avais pas pu te dire. Je ne sais quoi faire pour t'exprimer mon amour. Il y a bien longtemps que moi je n'avais plus aimé mon bébé. Voilà le amiga matinga tutume. Maïwae amiga matinga bébé oh. Voilà le amiga matinga tutume. Maïwae amiga matinga Sony. Aïe aïe aïe. La nourriture des grands, les petits ne la mangent pas.
Chérie, pourtant de moi, ne retiens ma voix nommée. L'amour est une fleur qui est plantée là où il le faut. Je le sais bien chérie, mais tiens ne m'y tiens mais l'amour que tu as pour moi est un amour sincère, je le sais.
Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime, bébé? Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime, je t'adore? Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime?
Amour Sincere by Timmy Toro. Beautiful soul-searching music there. Coming to you from Cameroon. We are in Central Africa. And of course, you're listening to Apex One Radio. The show on the air is African Fiesta with Ernest Kanjo. It's exactly 20 minutes past 11 here in the studio. And time for us to make the next stopover, which should be Washington, D.C. And like I said, the Global Refugee Crisis Summit takes place in that capital city tomorrow. One of the organizers, Emily Siwe, will be right here to give us more details or throw more light on this event that is aimed at not only reducing the rate of terrorism around the world, but to eradicate this violence that has been causing a lot of refugee crisis. Okay, before she comes up, just listen
You're
to
listening to African Fiesta with Ernest Kanjo. Now, our next stop.
Okay, like I said, our next stop is Washington, D.C., where Emily Siwe is now on the line. Emily, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right, thanks. And you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
And so, how is the capital of the world's greatest country today?
Well, we are doing fine. A little cold, but he's doing fine.
Definitely. And I understand you are one of the organizers of the Global Refugee Crisis Summit that takes place in D.C. tomorrow, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So tell me, Emily, what is this summit all about?
Well, the summit was put together to bring awareness within the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area about the crisis that's happening with refugees right now on the global level.
Okay.
We feel like that it's a topic that's being really ignored and not really talked about, but it's becoming a bigger and bigger issue. So the whole point are to bring awareness and bring people who can talk about it.
Mm. So why is the summit holding at this time? Is there something at stake?
Yes, the summit is holding at this time because there is it's a crisis that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
We've done a lot of research on this topic, and we came up with the statistics that there were about 59.5 million refugees that have been placed worldwide since last year, and that number is increasingly growing dramatically. So it's therefore a topic that we can no longer ignore.
And I'm also concerned about where this summit is taking place. That is in Washington, D.C. Why is it not taking place in some of the areas that are badly hit by this crisis?
Well, there are a lot of organizations that are putting together, submit conferences, call for action.
Okay.
We decided to do ours in Washington, D.C. because, of course, it's the D.C., Maryland, and Virginia metropolitan area.
Okay.
And there is a very, very large population of African immigrants in this area. And a lot of those immigrants are refugees. So therefore, we just wanted to kind of localize ourselves within the African community and start spreading the word. But we do plan on moving around to bring awareness to the cause.
Right. And what do you hope to achieve after the summit?
Well, we hope that people come out, they find out what's going on, they become activists, they hopefully join us in the movement, the global crisis, the global refugee crisis movement, and we're trying to bring as much awareness as possible, raise up as much money as possible, and impact as many lives as we can.
Okay. And so tomorrow in DC, what will you be discussing precisely? What will you be deliberating on?
Well, tomorrow we're going to be deliberating on what should citizens do to help refugees to integrate back in the general population.
Okay.
How do we help them face all their issues, survival issues, medical issues, help them with any aids that they have? So we hope to come up with better solutions and scalable solution and develop a strategy, to think about how to help these people, because we did find out that Obama plans on bringing over 20,000 refugees to the U.S. by the end of the year. So if those people are to migrate over here, how can we help them? How can we help our families that are back home, our families that are overseas, even if they're not families? How can we just help humans who are like us that are suffering?
Now,
so we want to bring awareness to all those issues.
Okay. Now, Emily, it would also be interesting to know who the speakers at this summit would be.
Yes, of course. We have an amazing discussion panel, which includes Sophia Khalid. She's the executive director of the Institute of Immigration Research for George Mason University. We have Mamadou Samba, which is the director of the Mayor's Office on African Affairs. And we have Mohamed Al-Samawi, which is a very big peace activist on the refugees topic.
Right. And so could you just tell us more about the Humanity Helping Sudan and what the organization has done so far? I understand it is one of the organizations that will be organizing tomorrow's summit.
Yes, Humanity Helping Sudan is an award-winning nonprofit organization, 501c, that has been helping by providing aid and assistance to the Sudanese in the diaspora. Its founder is Manyan Kerr, and he has been going at it with a mission to help as many people in different countries overcome poverty, hunger, and disease while protecting the environment. But at this point, he does understand that the refugee crisis is so large, it's not just about food and needs. We're trying to help as many people as we can. So the organization in itself, it started with a small group of people. It got bigger and bigger, and it's still growing. We're hoping to get as many people to come and be part of our team. HHSC has been featured on ABC News, Comcast, CNN, and other media outlets because we really want to push the whole concept out there.
That's interesting. And what do you think could be done to avert the current insecurity faced by some parts of the world today, Emily?
Well, I think that bringing awareness is one of them. I think that a lot of people are not they're not knowledgeable in terms of what's going on around the world. And by discussing those facts, we would be able to come up with strategy or solutions and implement those. Because, again, you cannot fix something that you don't know. And once you do know it, you cannot fix it if you don't have a plan.
Her name is Emily Siwe. She is a specialist in events organization. And, of course, she is a key player in civil society organizations. She's part of the organization of tomorrow's Global Refugee Crisis Summit that takes place in Washington, D.C. And, of course, she's speaking live on African Fiesta, coming to you live from the city of Columbus, United States of America. Now, Emily, let us come back to tomorrow's summit. What did it take to put everything together, materially, financially, and human resource-wise?
Well, we have some amazing sponsors, the World Bank Group, the African Society of the World Bank Group, sponsored us, as well as the Global Diaspora Week, as well as myself, my company, Vintage Firm. We were able to, bear the cost of putting the event together, and we also, we kind of manage it financially in order to make it happen, and was able to pull it off. Right.
And so you probably want to extend your regards to partners in this project. Who are some of the partners again?
Yes, we have some amazing media partners, the Pan-African Vision, as well as the Washington Post. Will be doing articles, as well as the African Mirror newspaper. They will be coming out to cover the event. They will be printing it and advertising it, and definitely pushing it to the community.
Right. And so before we run off this conversation on the summit tomorrow, could you just remind us of the venue and the time?
Yes, tomorrow's summit for the Global Refugee Crisis is going to be at the World Bank Group, located on 1818 A Street, Washington, D.C., and it will start from 4 to 5:30 p.m. Please make sure you go to Eventbrite and register, because it is the World Bank, so everybody has to register and have a photo ID to be able to have access to the building.
Right. And for interested people, how can they get to you, or how can they be part of this event?
Well, for anybody that's interested, they're welcome to contact us. Our phone number is 202-888-7407, or send us an email at info@vantagefirm.com, VANCAGE, or they can go through Humanity Helping Sudan Project. Their phone number is 804-621-6159, or find them on humanityhelpingsudanproject.org.
Okay, Emily, the message has definitely gone through. We thank you so much for joining us and throwing more light on this event.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. I am a big fan and supporter of everything that you do. We definitely, on the behalf of Humanity Helping Sudan and Vantage Firm, we thank you for having us on your show and helping us spread the word and the awareness. We're very grateful about that.
Okay, Emily, we wish you all the best. And we'll probably have you some other time to tell us what would have transpired how you are progressing in this project.
Definitely.
Okay, her name is Emily Siwe. Okay, and so for those of you who are in the DMV area, don't forget tomorrow, 1818. That is 1818 High Street, Washington, D.C. 20433. 1818 High Street, Washington, D.C. 20433. That is at the Preston Auditorium. Entry is free. All you need is your photo ID. Get there tomorrow and be part of this summit that is aimed at helping out with this refugee crisis that is hitting the world real bad. Okay, thank you once again, Emily, for that very vital information. We shall be back.
Ils sèment des troupes en Afrique. Oh manaka yo. Le visage plein de rage et de colère, esprit le douleur. Je pleure. Waniya zedrega. Waniya zedrega. Woyo. Ils nous ont zizà. Woyo, Waniya zedrega. Allah kakli joma, Allah. Kakele lo ni joma. Kana follow joma. Allah. Aye ya fanya frapina jamana nila, Ye masa. Aye ya fanya frapna jamana nila oh. Ye masa. Aye ya fama. Aye ya fama. Woyo. Waniya zedrega. Waniya zedrega. Woyo. Ils nous ont zizà. Toujours présent. Alors pourquoi se métier de nos problèmes Jairi? La gona zéro. Pour coopérer avec notre continent, faut les aviser. Pour nos élections, nous devons les consulter. Quand l'Afrique se porte bien, l'Occident est enrhumé. Asaïde Yurukumi, oh yeah. Asaïde Yurukumi, oh. Asaïde Yurukumi le yeah. Nandre se amen Yurukumi oh. Asaïde Yurukumi le yeah.
And that one is titled Independence, Les Garagistes of Ivory Coast.
Sois indépendance, Botika kotongi sa peso. Aussitôt sois indépendance, Botika kotongi sa peso. Botika kotongi sa peso. Botika kotongi sa peso. Botika kotongi sa peso. Botika kotongi sa peso.
And so in the next couple of weeks, it will be the start of celebrations marking the 30 years of music career of the legendary Ben Decker. Ben Decker is one of Cameroon's iconic musicians who has been in the landscape for over 3 decades. And so, like I said, Valerie Dulafe will be throwing more light on that. Just right ahead in this episode of African Fiesta. Don't go away. And that one is titled Tu voulais me faire by Ben Decker. Qui met la musique camerounaise au sommet, lui c'est Ben Decker. That one is titled To Me Fair. Ben Decker in that beautiful one day coming to you from Apex One Radio. And of course, you're listening to the 19th episode of African Fiesta with Ernest Kanjo. This is the Tuesday, October the 14th, 2015. Just right ahead, we shall be making a stop over in Cameroon's political capital, Yaoundé, where Valerie Dulafe is going to tell the story best. And that is 30 beautiful years of musical success, 30 years of making Cameroon proud, 30 ans sans carrière dentale.
Isongi mongo metende na mbeya mina onyolango ayo ye amonti oe mbana ye amonti oe ateo ayumba ye ayumba ye ayumba ye ayumba ye yetena meni miso
In Fiesta, join the Yaoundé big band.
Tu as menti, tu as menti, tu as menti, tu as menti, tu as
et Valérie Doulafé s'annonce. And so, who is this gentleman who has made Cameroon proud, musically speaking, for the past 30 years? Who is this gentleman with a soul-searching, unique voice? And who is this gentleman who sings so brilliantly? Who is Bendeka? Valérie Doulafé comes up in just a moment to tell us the story.
In Fiesta, join me. Let's head to Yaoundé for Big Val.
Iandola mio, wamenendo pulina. Iandola mio, wamenendo pulina.
Okay, once again, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to Apex One Radio's African Fiesta. For those of you who are just joining us, we are doing the 19th episode of the show. And so, it's time for us to go to Yaoundé, Cameroon.
African Fiesta, join me. Let's head to Yaoundé for Big Val.
Okay, so Big Val is definitely with us, and he is going to tell us more about this artist who has made Cameroon proud for over 3 decades. His name is Bendeka. And like I said, Bendeka is celebrating his 30th anniversary. Activities to mark that great event begin in November with concerts spread all over the country. And so Valérie Doulafé has been looking into the life of this Makossa legend, and this is what he has for us from Yaoundé, Cameroon's political capital.
Welcome to Cameroon. Welcome to the land of culture. Welcome to music.
La vie est une phrase. Une phrase.
Today, we are going to take interest on a legendary Cameroonian Makossa musical icon known as Bendeka. But before we do so, I would like to invite you to discover what Makossa is all about. Makossa is a Douala word meaning dance. It originated from the Douala dance called Kossa. The word Kossa was used by Emmanuel Nele Eyom in his song with his group known as Les Calvinos. In 1950, the style began to take shape but really saw glory later on with artists such as the late Ebois Lotin, Misengo Francois, and Manu Dibango, who made Makossa known to the world through his song known as Soul Makossa in the early 1970s, a song which was later on used by the American artists such as the late King of Pops, legendary Michael Jackson, and the Jamaican-American based artist known as Rihanna. Makossa did see glory also when the Latino Shakira brought Makossa to the stage, sampling the golden sound, popular Zangalewa song Zamina Mina. So, Makossa is somehow noted Cameroonian popular urban musical genre. Like much other late 20th century music of sub-Saharan Africa, it used strong electric bass rhythms and prominent brass. Makossa saw its peak in 1980 across Africa. With that said, let me introduce you to the Dekas family. It is a family of 11 children with 4 of them Makossa artists. Ben Decker started singing in the family, but let's keep him for the last section. We start with his sister. Let us start with Grace Decker, the self-proclaimed princess of Makossa. Appelle-moi princesse. She is the 6th of the family and started singing thanks to the influence of her brother Ben Decker in 1984. She produced her first album in 1989 and since then has won recognition. Name it: Best Album for Female Artist in 1993, 2 nominations in the Abidjan African Awards 1999, Bernard Fallon Prize of Maturity, Best Sales in the Female category 2001-2002, Trophy for Prix d'Excellence in the African Ladies Award 2003, and the list is long. She also sang with Ben Decker. Now, let us leave this icon. Let's go over to Isaac Decker. He is a talented musician from the Deckers family and he drew inspiration from Ben and Grace. A remarkable gentleman as he did not allow his physical disability challenge him. He challenged his disability through his musical hit and output. He has a rich musical library although he has been absent from the scene. Let us leave him. Dora Decker. Born in April in Sopor Bonapriso in Douala, she is a songwriter and a singer. She developed her love for music at a tender age. Her first album, Aphrodite, saw light in 2002 under the guidance of Alaji Touré. She released her second album, Doratitude, in 2007 and Belalo later on with Sam Fantoma, the king of Makassi in Cameroon. Rich musical experience, she is still getting started. With the introduction over, let's meet the icon of the day, Ben Decker. He is the elder brother to the listed 4 musicians and of 11 children. Ben Decker is a renowned Cameroonian musical icon who was disclosed and discovered by another great musical icon, the late Joe Mbule, in 1981. Born and bred in Douala, Cameroon, he is undeniably one of the pioneers of the Cameroonian music industry and Makossa. So, who are we celebrating and why? We are celebrating a man of culture who, like artists such as Charlotte de Panda, Guy Lobe, Manu Dibango, and a host of others, have positioned the Douala language to a top position in the modern day world. A language described as the modern day Spanish in Cameroon. He makes not only Douala proud, but Cameroon proud. We celebrate a man who many parents testified of having fallen in love listening to this guy's songs. Due to his rich poetic ways of conveying love messages, he earned the reputation of, pardon my French, le charmeur. This icon has inspired many artists, sang with many artists, composed songs, and is still doing great. A little bit of history. Ben Decker comes from a lineage of musicians. His grandfather, Lobe Lobe, was a great musical icon. This family also has as uncle the late and unique Eboalotin, who made Cameroon proud in the musical domain. So Cameroonians are celebrating excellence, a time when Cameroonian music is transcending modern day borders. Cameroon celebrates their sons. Recently, it was the Bikutsi icon Kodo Sitoni, and now Bendeke. Concerts are happening in Cameroon as from the 14th of November. Come celebrate Cameroon, come celebrate Magosa. Stay proud. Proudly Cameroonian.
What a rich career the Bendeka celebrating 30 in music. We wish him all the best. And hopefully we are going to be covering celebrations marking the 30th anniversary of this music hero. Our man Valerie Dulafe will be taking care of that out there in Cameroon. This is African Fiesta coming to you from Apex One Radio. Next up will be Kampala, the capital of the great Uganda. 37.58 million people. That is a big one. Okay, we shall be in Kampala very soon. And once we get there, we shall be visiting the fashion garden of Mukisa Sheila Houston, just right ahead in this episode of African Fiesta.
Gestion positive. Manandolo pom, manandolo pom. Wale nene mame kwadi bamoliere wana. Bekwadi be. Mon amour, mon amour. Le verbe est difficile à conjuguer. Son passé n'est jamais simple. Son présent est imparfait. Son futur est conditionné à terre. Bikwadi bongo be. Bikwadi bongo be. Le verbe est difficile à conjuguer. Son passé n'est jamais simple. Son présent est imparfait. Son futur est conditionné à terre. Mais j'aime l'instant présent. So pamiyemba mukutae odo wadi peina mbindo ena di mananga moyando lopon. Y a pas d'amour parfait. Y a pas d'amour parfait. Nongo sopie onengele motongola mukuta one ndolonye tende mbindo e owa bananye tende ndolo sisae oidimbea. Le verbe est difficile à conjuguer. Son passé n'est jamais simple. Son présent est imparfait. Son futur est conditionné à terre. Mais J'aime l'instant présent que je passe avec toi. J'aime l'instant présent.
And so she's one of those who are bearing the flag of Uganda in the area of fashion modeling. She is just so young, but then she has a very bright future. She is so hardworking, so assiduous, and of course so conscious about what she expects to do in this domain. And of course, she is our next guest on board African Fiesta. Her name is Houston Mokisa Shela. In just a few minutes, we shall be moving to East Africa. And once we get across the mountains of Entebbe, it will be time for us to land in Kampala, the capital of that great East African country. A special good evening to all our listeners in Uganda. I'm thinking of my very good friends, those who cover the entertainment and culture domain in that country's media landscape. A beautiful country, quite a beautiful one. And one of those beautiful people we shall be meeting in Uganda once we get there is the young and dynamic Mokisa. She is the next guest on board African Fiesta this day. Apex One Radio, African Fiesta. Just right ahead, we shall be moving to Kampala. Don't go away.
Nous voilà aujourd'hui, nous passe, nous passe, nous passe, nous passe, nous passe, nous passe, nous passe. La
A beautiful piece there by Yoka Lokito that beats a record of universality and timelessness. That one is titled Two Bars. And of course, you're listening to African Fiesta number 19 coming to you from Apex One Radio with Ernest Kanjo. This day, Tuesday, October the 14th, 2015. At exactly 7 minutes past 12, we should be 7 minutes past 8 in Kampala, Uganda. Let us go to East Africa and meet the beauty queen. Her name is Mokisa Sheila Houston. And of course, she's presented here today by Crystal Beauty of the Crystal Beauty Show, who happens to be the artist's manager. Okay, and so, ladies, welcome to the show. Beginning with you, Mokisa. How is Kampala today? Welcome on board.
Kampala is fine.
So, looks like it's not raining in Kampala today.
Sorry?
Looks like it's not raining today in Kampala.
No, it's not raining. But it's very sunny.
Right. We thought it was going. We thought it was going to rain, but hopefully, thank God you are having a bright weather out there. So, how are you today?
I'm doing very fine. I'm great. Thank you.
So, give me this order of your names, please. Is it Mokisa Sheila Houston or Houston Sheila Mokisa?
I use Sheila Houston Mokisa.
Sheila Houston Mokisa. Okay. So, Mokisa is a Ugandan name. What does that mean?
Pardon?
What would the meaning of Mokisa be?
Mokisa means blessing.
Blessing?
Yes.
Wow. And of course, she is a blessing to her country in the art she knows best. So, I understand you are just back from Kampala, from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. What took you there?
I went for a family culture affair.
Okay. So, how was it? How did it go?
It
was lovely. We were paying last respect to my mom and basically introducing the new hair.
Okay. And what memories of Tanzania do you have?
The biggest memories that I have of Tanzania, maybe because we paid last respect to my mom. We got a new hair. That's all.
Okay. Okay, Mukisa, once again, you're welcome to Apex One Radio and, of course, African Fiesta. What kind of modeling do you do?
I do all kinds of modeling. I do photography. I do runway. I do commercial. Yep.
And for how long have you been in this domain?
For 3 years.
Oh, I didn't get that.
I've been a model for 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
And what inspired you into modeling?
It has always been my passion since childhood. I always wanted to be a very good model. I wanted to be a fashion designer. So that really pushed me to it.
Right. And how did you get into the sector? Did you go through an agency? And just tell us how you got into it.
Yeah, I got into it through a friend who introduced me to some agency called Crystal Models Uganda. That was 2011. Yeah, that's where I worked for 2 years.
Okay. Wow.
That's where I worked for 2 years.
And what was the experience? Did you enjoy it?
No, the experience wasn't good because we weren't on the same page. I expected them to promote me. They didn't have good marketing skills. So I didn't like it.
Okay. And I understand you are currently being managed by Crystal of the Crystal Beauty Show, who is in Dallas, Texas. And of course, she joins us to talk more about your life, your career, and how she got in contact with you. Crystal, once again, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Ernest.
Okay. And so, tell us, how did you discover Mukisa?
I discovered her through a friend. I have a Ugandan friend in Boston who told me that he has this friend in Uganda who is into modeling and is just looking for someone to help her
to
grow her career. So I asked him to connect me with her, and I had a couple of conversations with Musika, and that's how we started, and that's how I decided that I was going to become her manager.
Right. I know to take that decision to become a manager, it doesn't just come like that. There should be something that attracts you to this model for you to take such a decision. What is that thing that caught your attention in this model?
Yeah, I was very amazed by the passion that she has. Because I know passion is very important when it comes to entertainment. If you're doing something and the passion is there, definitely you just need a push, you know. And because considering what I do to the Crystal Beauty Show, if the passion wasn't there, I don't think I'll be where I am. So I think it all starts with passion. And I realized that with the limited resources that she has, she still has the capability of, you know, doing her photo shoots. Sometimes she even does them with her phone, and, you know, she tries. And I saw that hard work and passion, and that's what made me interested in her.
And I understand you'll be working with her under the banner of BMAC LLC. What exactly will you be doing for this young model, Crystal?
So I'll be helping her out with photo shoots. I'll be helping her out with promotion, which is, you know, getting her interviews like I'm doing right now to get her out there, to get her noticed. She does mostly photography modeling, so basically helping her hook her up with those photographers and, you know, people that can basically assist her to get to where she wants to get to.
Mukisa, let me come back to you. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Now, tell us about some of your public displays you've had so far.
Yeah, the recent public display that I had, it was Miss Ambias Uganda. I just had to go present, and they had to choose a beauty queen for as the second runner-up.
Right.
And that's all. That was it's the current one. The current.
So, how does the Ugandan public appreciate your work? What do people tell you on a daily basis?
I help in marketing, help for local designers.
Okay.
Yeah, I've become a role model. People are come and ask me when it comes to fashion.
Okay. Now, what has your experience been so far? Is it an experience you would like to keep having? Is this something you like doing all the time, or you regret getting into modeling?
I don't regret. I don't, because I know I'm working under BMAC LLC, and they're very good at marketing, and the manager is very good. So I feel I'm heading somewhere.
Apart from the challenges which Crystal mentioned a while ago, which are some other problems you face as a young model in Uganda?
Poor marketing skills.
Right.
Yeah, we have poor marketing skills. That's the only biggest challenge that all models are facing right now.
Wow. And can you paint us a general picture of modeling in Uganda? Do people of your country show interest in this art?
Yeah, basically the youth and the modeling industry in Uganda is growing at a faster rate.
Right. Okay, I'll be back with you.
Everybody wants to be a model.
Okay, I'll be back with you, Mukisa. Let me go back to Dallas and find out something from Crystal Beauty. Crystal, are you still there? Hello? Okay, we'll probably have difficulties getting back to Crystal. Now, Mukisa, I'm back with you. Do you have any support from the government of your country in what you do?
Unfortunately, no, but I'm hoping to get when time comes.
Okay. And so there should be some Ugandan models, African models whom you look up to as your role models. Who are they?
I have Naomi Campbell, Ella Parsons' childhood, Tyra Banks. We have our Mito. I love her so much because she displays so much when it comes to Africa.
Right. Now, tell us about media exposure in your country. Do you have enough media exposure in Uganda?
Sorry?
Do you have enough media exposure in Uganda?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. And what are your ambitions? Where do you intend to take this career of yours to? In the next 5-10 years, where do we expect to see Mukisa?
I'm planning to be a big fashion designer.
Okay.
Planning to open up an orphanage and building a school for the needy.
Right.
And yeah, that's all.
Okay. Now, so do you have any shows you are planning to do anytime from now?
Pardon?
Do you have any upcoming shows you want to share with us? Do you have some performances which are upcoming?
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you because I'm not so sure when, and where, but I'm planning to. So.
Okay. Mukisa, thank you so much for granting us this interview. We wish you all the best, and we are strongly behind your career. And hopefully, we will be doing a lot of promotion to this career of yours. Thank you so much, and I do have a fantastic rest of the day out there in the capital city of Kampala.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Okay. Thank you, and do have a fantastic rest of the day out there in Uganda. Okay, let's have some music. Then, when we come back, we'll probably make one stopover in South Africa, one last one in Cameroon, and we will probably be running off this episode of African Fiesta. Let's have some music.
Become with pain, no. Molo, molo, oh, what a country fashion. Sometimes I feel my heart, they go on. Bongolo, bongolo, we go land na insa Honda. I'll take you to Ghana. Next flight na for Nigeria, Cameroon, now there we go stay. I go tell my mama, I go tell my papa. Now you, I want, now you, 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 I want to, now you, I love, oh, carry me, baby. Now you, now you, now you, now you, now you, now you, now you make me so good. You dey make my heart a bogolo. Hey, bene me deo. Hey, mama, baby, now for you I die, yo. Shiriko koi, no ti play me why yo. Get the danger son, mon kava baby, oh. Bongolo, bongolo, we go land na insa Honda. I'll take you to Ghana. Next flight na for Nigeria, Cameroon, now there we go stay, baby. I go tell my mama, I go tell my papa. Now you, I want. Now you, 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 I want to. Now you, I love, oh, carry me, baby. Now you, now you, now you, now you, now you, now you, now you make me so good. You dey make my heart a bogolo. Hey, bene me deo. Sessa. Now you, now you, now you, now you, now you, now you make me so good. Ah yeah, cha, bene me deo. Ah, papa, so massa. Na boa for bogolo, 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 bogolo. Listen, I'll give you my love. I know it's complicated. I should baby, this love no go die. Me and you now one, me and you forever. For before, under rain any weather. I'll take you to Ghana, next night Nigeria, Cameroon. Now bless me go there. Let go. Now you, now you, now you, now you, now you, now you, now you I want to. Now you I love, oh, carry me, baby. Now you, now you, now you, now you, now you, now you, now you make me so good. You dey make my heart a bogolo. Hey, bene me deo. Sessa. Now you, now you, now you, now you, now you, now you, now you I want, baby. See, I love you, carry me, baby. Now you, now you, now you, now you, now you, now you, now you make me so good. Chai, make me bogolo. Hey, bene me deo.
Baron Squad is back to stay. If you know, that is my goals, I feel it. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. This one and I'm a cousin. Namakosa, this one na Namakosa, original Makosa, this one na Namakosa, Namakosa, this one na Namakosa, original Makosa. On m'aurait dit que l'amour était fluide, défendu, moi j'aurais jamais cru. Douala, yeah, danser, danser. Too much it in the club, everybody just wanna dance and throw away the money, yo. Makosa hit the make maski one for shake up my one jokai, yo. Tout le monde a bougé, a bougé, tout le monde a dansé, dansé.
Okay, we're making another stopover in Cameroon, and this time Bamenda.
Tout le monde a dansé, dansé le Makosa. Elele kelele kilie, yeah, ma Makosa. Elele kelele kilie, yeah, yeah. Elele kelele kilie, yeah, ma Makosa. Elele kelele kilie, yeah, yeah.
You know if you see me, yeah, Max Empire, we come closer. This year we dancing Makosa, Muribin Chung Sokosa.
Okay, this year we dance Makosa. That one is titled Original Makosa by Realm Squad. It's a beautiful urban music track there from Cameroon. It's in Central Africa. Ainz. Still in Cameroon, we are going to meet this young Ainz, dynamic filmmaker Ainz, communication specialist. His name is Wa Musi. Musi Wa has just rounded off a workshop on upgrading media skills using word Ainz. Picture. He's going to throw more light on that. Ainz from Bamenda, Cameroon. Musi now joins us. Welcome on board, Musi.
Welcome to Bamenda. We are actually having a very cold weather right now in Bamenda. It's getting to nightfall. And the weather is quite cold because the rainy season in the northern region of Cameroon.
Right.
Thank you for taking me on the show.
Okay, thank you so much, Musiwa, for accepting this interview. So, I understand you have just rounded off a workshop on upgrading media skills using word and picture. First question, Musi, word as in computer program or word used in describing things?
Well, I think the workshop was about, when we talk about word and picture in media communication, we are talking about how pictures can be, how stories can be interpreted with the use of words,
okay,
like wordings, and how you can actually tell a story by writing in words, not like word as like a software.
Ah, okay.
But I think the most essential thing was that we wanted to draw a line between how pictures can better tell a story, and if in the absence of picture, how people can use a literary way of interpreting this on the media landscape.
Right. And so who organized this workshop?
Well, the workshop was organized by the Credit Union League, of Cameroon. And I think it was in line with trying to set up a thing with the recent growth in the media landscape, where most institutions want to be able to communicate, send out information to their audience, to their partners, through using the media. So I think the Credit Union League decided to organize a workshop like this to be able to pass across this information.
Right. And I understand participants of this workshop were staff of the said credit union. Why the staff?
Well, the participants to this workshop were mostly the communication department of the Credit Union League, because they were trying to build a platform where they can better communicate with their audiences. But again, Ernest, you must also understand that our main background at this workshop was trying to upgrade their skills, because at the matter of fact, the microfinance institution is a growing area now in Cameroon, where most financial institutions, they want to go online, they want to be able to publish what they are doing for people to be able to see. And you know, the credit union link in itself is a collection of many other credit microfinance institutions. So I think as one of the modern institutions in finance in Cameroon, it's just a start for them to be able to upgrade their skills and be able to meet with the growing trend of media communication, which we are now talking about using the social media to communicate with people.
Right. Now, let us go back to some of the keywords of that workshop, that is word and picture. How important is word to upgrading media skills?
Come again?
How important is word to upgrade media skills?
In journalism, you know, in the practice of journalism, there is usually the way of telling a story by using the 5W principle. And using the 5W and 1H principle to tell your story means you have to be able to communicate the why, when, why, who, and where. And when you are able to communicate using this principle, it is important for us to start upgrading skills of communicators within a credit union to be able to send out information to people that actually looks at the 5W principle. And so I think word and pictures was actually trying to tell them how they can write their own stories and also use photographs to interpret what is written in their story. And we were looking at a situation whereby we can use a single photograph to be able to tell a story of 1,000 words. So basically, that was what we were trying to upgrade. And also, there is something about communication using billboards. What kind of images do you want to pass across to the public? What do you want people to see? That if you are driving along a major street and you see a billboard on the credit union, what is it you want to capture immediately by looking at that picture? How do you interpret this idea? I think I and my colleague Kominusa, we're actually trying to upgrade their skills on how to create pictures, create images using words that can actually communicate of an institution like the credit union.
Right. Now, one must see it is commonly observed that communication nowadays is more visual than auditory. Reason why pictures and images play that vital role. Could you throw more light on this for the sake of our listeners?
Can you come again, Ernest? I didn't get you.
Yeah, I was saying that it is observed that communication nowadays is more visual than auditory. Reason why we see pictures and images playing a very vital role. For the sake of our listeners, could you throw more light on this?
When you talk of the fact that communication is more visual, yes. Many people want to see. Many people want to be able to look at images. People want to look at things and interpret it in their own ways. We think at this moment in time, it's something we need to, before you would understand the need that most financial institutions did not embark on investing in domains like communication being a major subject. They were looking more of having meetings with stakeholders and trying to uplift and upgrade on their membership, talking to people on streets, going around and talking in jungle groups or meeting houses, and trying to upgrade their membership. But today, because of the wide growth of the media landscape using the internet, I think it is important for us to understand that because most people want to see things visually, it is a pride of place for us to understand that we need, as much as possible, as a credit microfinance institution to be able to fit within that context of social growing times, where people want to be able to look at images and see what is seen within those images. And we were embarking more at seeing how we can create that can actually interpret what the viewers are seeing. For example, you're passing in front of this gorgeous building and it's written on it, you can see a pictorial of a building. And if you look at it, for example, take Blue Pearl Hotel. When you see a building and it's written on it, Blue Pearl Hotel, you start thinking, what is blue? What is pearl? And what is a hotel? You start asking, now, what is it that actually attracts my understanding or having that love for that building or having that love for that hotel. I think we're trying to make a situation where these workers of this credit union, they should be able to create pictures, create captions that can easily pull the minds of their audiences. And I think basically that was the kind of skill we're trying to empower them with. And also to make them to understand how to take pictures using the rule of thirds.
Right.
Because in every image that people watch, people should be able to see an image using the 4 pivotal points where the human eye falls on an image. Little to say is that most of the photographs, I'm sorry to say this, when I look at billboards, when I look at magazines, I realize that most of the communicators and the publishers who go on to publish, maybe they are limited in some communication skills in terms of visualization. Because for every picture to be able to interpret what the viewers should be able to see, there are particular points on a frame that people need to see to be able to appreciate an image. So I think we were also trying to let them understand that it's not all about just writing or putting pictures on the media or putting pictures in magazines or putting pictures on billboards. We're also trying to upgrade their skills in how to take pictures that talk, pictures that speak, pictures that have an information to convey across. So we're trying to upgrade their skills on how to take pictures. You know, sometimes we want to take a picture, Ernest. This visualization is you want to create a subjective impression and you want to create an interior impression. So why do you want to put a picture where it's taken, a picture that is taken from a fish eye point of view or from an aerial shot? So we wanted these people to understand why images are taken, what purpose you need to take an image for, and how you have to use this image.
Right.
So that's basically what we're trying to do. And because the public out there, their audience, are only interested in seeing things like you rightly said, it's a wall of visualization. Our need on this other side was also to try to empower them with the skills to be able to hold firm to their clientele.
Quite insightful there from Musi. Just before you go away, Musi, what was the response from your audience, your participants?
Well, I think the response from the participants of the workshop, I must tell you, Ernest, we did this workshop just a few days back, but I must tell you that for the past few days that we finished with the workshop, we have had a very good reaction from the public.
Right.
Especially, I haven't forgotten at the beginning to make you understand that this workshop actually, there is a foundation, they call it the AFSIC, which is they call it the Action Foundation. This it's a common initiative group that decided to work in partnership with the credit union because they are also concerned with communication, public communication.
Right.
But the members of the communication department of the credit union, particularly within the past few days, have been in close contact with us because it's not all about just having a camera to take pictures. Because tell you that the credit union, they have a camera, a professional camera. But it is not your camera that takes pictures. It is a person behind the camera that actually creates the pictures. So the response has been very, very, very wonderful in the sense that they have been able to call us for the past 2 days and tell us, oh yeah, Musi, Comfort, we are having issues here. We want to take this picture to use for this and that. So the consultancy is improving. And I would say most of the workers of the credit union communication department are so elated. And what they are actually telling us is we want to organize a 3-day workshop so you can actually empower us more, because it was like we had just a day to work with them.
Right.
But I think the response is quite positive because they want us to come back and come back and come back many more times just so they can. They found another way. They found another vision. Like, oh, so this is true. This is why we see things this way. So all of them were like, okay, this is a wonderful idea. I think if you get back to people like, if you have an opportunity to talk to any of them, you will get the wonderful response. But on my own side, I think it was a wonderful, wonderful experience for most of them. And it was also a great one for us, also sharing and knowing that there are people who want to gain from our expertise as well.
Right. A wonderful experience, of course. Musi, just before you go away, if there is any organization that has been listening to this interview and they would want to benefit from those skills, how can they get in contact with you?
Well, if you want to get in contact with us or with me, you would definitely I would page my official Facebook page, where you can actually go to the internet and on Facebook you Google Musiwa. Musi spelled like MUSIWAA. That's WAA, Musiwa. That's my Facebook page. If you go on social media, you Google my name, you'll be able to get hold of me. But if you want to contact me, I have a contact telephone number, which is +237 67001125. Just repeat for the sake of those who are getting the number. +237 67001125. And then you can also send me an email on wamusi@yahoo.com. Wamusi at one word, WAAMUSI@yahoo.com. I think that's my contact for now, but I think we have a wonderful team we're trying to build, and we intend to impact this in many more institutions and organizations willing to benefit from our expertise.
Beautiful one day, Wamusi. Thank you so much for joining us and throwing more light on the workshop you just held out there in Bamenda.
Thank you very much, Ernest. It was my pleasure talking on Apex One Radio. It's always been my pleasure to be on this radio, and thanks to your team back in the U.S. for the wonderful job you're doing for the African communication platform. We are truly elated with what you guys are doing, and I think this is what we need in Africa, and the trend is still above. So I think it's a wonderful time spent with you people on the media. Thank you all also for taking time to always come back to us and follow our activities.
Okay, thank you so much. His name is Wamusi. What a beautiful way of participating on African Fiesta. Musi was throwing more light on the workshop he and journalist Komi Musa held there in Bamenda on word and picture as major tools in upgrading media skills. Thank you once again, Wamusi, and we hope to have you some other time. Let's have some music, then we'll be right back.
Let's go. Juba. Yeah, productions in collabo. Yeah, ultimate music. We know the waste time. Na 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 na. Yeah.
Alphabet Records.
Nyango, oh,
Salatiel on the beat.
I go do anything for you. Hey, my baby, no cry, oh. Baby, now you be my titular. Do it. Now for you, I go cut my dada. Baby, oh, I know say now, but I know day. But everything I go share it.
Everything Ako Jere, his name is Mr. Leo. Mr. Leo on Apex One Radio, and of course you're listening to African Fiesta. We hear there is some breaking news down there in South Africa, partly tragic and partly political. Solomon Atta is right here to explain. Solomon, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Ernest. Thank you and welcome to Johannesburg, the city of gold. Ernest, I'll start off with the political bit of the news. Today, the presidency just announced that our National Police Commissioner, who is in charge of the police force, the big boss of policing in this country, has been suspended.
Wow.
This is based on a series of incidences that have happened over the course of 3 years, starting in 2012, when there was a massive sort of a tragedy in Marikana when 44 people lost their lives, and some of whom were shot by the police. And since this incident happened in 2012, there's been a series of commissions and there's been a whole lot of fallouts. And news reaching our newsroom here says that during this commission of inquiry that the President of the Republic, Jacob Zuma, set up, was known as a Fallon Commission, the National Police Commissioner could have been found to be economical with the truth, because the commission was set up to, amongst other things, find out what really happened on the Platinum Belt on that fateful day in August 2012.
Right.
So the commissioner has now been suspended. There is an acting official coming from the National Intelligence Service that has been appointed in the interim in an acting capacity to fill this position. So, Ernest, you would just remember I reported on Batimo FM that the National General Council, the African National Congress, recently concluded 3-4 days ago on Sunday.
Right.
That took place in Midrand, which is just about 26 kilometers outside of Johannesburg city center. And during this was ANC's some kind of a midterm council whereby delegates, about 3,500 delegates, congregated to consider a whole lot of policy issues. But very much, Ernest, I must tell Apex One radio listeners that next year in South Africa, we're going to be having municipal election. ANC, being the governing party since 1994, is also in the process of working and securing the city of Johannesburg, the city of Johannesburg being the economic hub of the country and of the continent. You would remember that during the last general elections that saw President Jacob Zuma being returned to office for his second and last term, the province of Gauteng, where Johannesburg is the economic hub, was almost a toss-up. The ANC wasn't pleased because it narrowly won this province. And as such, after this NGC that is just concluded 4 days ago, the ANC is going to go out now into the field to try and start canvassing for votes. The president was also very, very firm when he mentioned that in his political report of this particular Congress that the numbers of the ANC have dropped. So the ANC, prior to the last election, had about 1 million or more than 1 million members, registered members of the African National Congress. However, as of 4 days ago, the president said that the numbers had dropped, and that made the organization as a whole very worried. So I think from now on, they're going to be getting into the field. In fact, the Secretary General, the scribe, Gwede Mantashe, during a press conference said that their work is cut out for them. They are going to be going into the field and trying to canvass for vote, win more members prior to this election that is happening at the municipal level in South Africa. Ernest, on a very sad note, a temporary pedestrian bridge has just collapsed about an hour ago, or just under 2 hours ago, and a major road linking Johannesburg and Pretoria, in a place called in an area just very close to just about 15 kilometers away from the city of Gold, from the hub of Johannesburg. So this bridge is killed, this collapse is taken away to kill 2 people, and more than 20 people are injured. And I have to indicate to our listeners that this bridge was constructed temporarily. It was a steel bridge. I will be posting some pictures on WhatsApp so that you can share it on our Facebook page with our listeners. And so this bridge collapsed. It was meant to hold some foot traffic. It was a pedestrian bridge over a double highway of at least a minimum of 8 carriageway, each 4 carriageway each way. So there will be 4 carriageway going to Pretoria and 4 carriageway coming from Pretoria to Johannesburg. So as this tragedies happen, the rescue teams are still on the scene as we speak. Traffic is being diverted from this is the main, one of the main arteries of transport between Pretoria and Johannesburg. So the traffic is now being diverted. This road, this main highway is called Mike 1, M1 North and M1 South has been affected. However, traffic is now being diverted to N1, N for November. So November 1 and other sub-routes that can lead in and out of Johannesburg and in and out of Pretoria. And yes, on that note, it was a wonderfully calm day that has just been disrupted by this tragedy. Otherwise, Johannesburg and South Africa has been experiencing a heat wave over the past couple of weeks, and in fact, the water, the councils were rationing water in some areas, especially in areas like Pretoria. It was quite hot. So, but today we had a very calm weather. In fact, it was one of the calmest days in the past couple of weeks. So, Ernest, on that note, it's a wonderful day, very, very calm, except for the tragic news of these two people that were trapped under this collapsed bridge. From myself, Solomon, it's been great talking to our listeners from Johannesburg. I will be on hand again on the family show on Baltimore FM on Saturday to bring to you what would have been making news from here. Over to you, Ernest.
Solomon, thank you so much, and do have a fantastic rest of the Wednesday out there in Johannesburg, and hopefully we're going to have you again next week for yet another package. It was a pretty sad one day with the collapse of the bridge that is linking the two major cities of that country, Pretoria and Johannesburg. Hopefully, the authorities out there are going to do something to avert such situations. Okay, this is Apex One Radio. We are going to make one very brief stopover in Bamenda to say hello to Komi Musa, who is already signaling. Thereafter, we shall be coming to run off with Valerie Dulafe, paying tribute to Joe Mbole.
Ego better, my baby, oh, ego better, Nunu, oh, ego better, Nyango, ego better, Sherry Coco. If anybody may not say you do, I go sample them, not for line, I go fire them, honey, do. Just with your love, girl, I don't belly fool. To every other girl, I pray fool. You did make me dance at Talaku. It be like you used juju, huh? I know say now, but I know day. But everything I go share it. Now only you I go come on there. I go tackle, we no go fire. Call me anywhere, I must get it. Bad fashion, I go throw it. I go pamper you, you no go blow it. We go deliver, Dudu, oh, ego better. Shushu, oh, ego better. Kuku, oh, ego better. Mama, oh, ego better. My baby, oh, ego better, Nunu, oh, ego better, Nyango, ego better, Sherry Coco.
Alpha Beta Records.
I go make you my wife, the mother of my child. I go love you for life. Now for you I go die. Moi je t'aime. Je t'aime, je t'aime, je t'aime, moi je t'aime, je t'aime, je t'aime, je t'aime, baby. I love you, Mr. You in the flow.
Yo, tato yo, yo bilobalo babopo anini ko?
Okay, we'll come back to that beautiful one by Jimmy Piana. This is African Fiesta coming to from Apex One Radio. Let's go to Bamenda and make a very brief stop over and talk to journalist Komi Musa, who was one of the facilitators of the just ended seminar or workshop on upgrading media skills using word and picture. Komi Musa, welcome to the show. Hello? Hello?
Hello. Good evening, Ernest.
Good evening, Komi Musa. How are you today?
Doing great, thanks. How are you?
I'm all right. We thank God. So, how is Bamenda today?
It's a beautiful Wednesday evening in Bamenda, and we're excited that Bamenda is highly represented on your show.
Right. So I've just been speaking with Wa Musi, with whom you facilitated the just ended workshop on grading or upgrading media skills using word and picture. So, Komi Musa, could you tell me how is the knowledge acquired at this workshop going to benefit the credit union in question?
I am a firm believer in the fact that communication is at the heart of change and development. And communication is an art that must be learned. So credit union officials, in acquiring these skills, will be able to push forward with their communication plans so as to drive change within their credit union networks.
Right. And so, do you think other such organizations need this knowledge for their potential growth?
Yes, this training is, we've been carrying it out with other organizations. It just happened that last week we were with the Credit Union Network in Cameroon and Action Foundation, another local NGO. Communication is important for every organization.
Okay.
And that is a key component of company growth, which we see lacking in our local organizations. The trainings are just there to meet the needs. Communications both within the companies and communications with the audiences and the publics that the companies serve.
Right. How related is the workshop you just did to the marketing aspect of what the credit unions are doing?
The training had everything to do with marketing. First of all, with technological advancements, companies are introducing many products into the market. In the case of credit unions, you have, say, ATS services, you have new loan policies. If these products are not well explained to the users, they may not even buy into them.
Right.
And when these products and services are not well explained to the users, you know what they say about purpose. When purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable.
Right.
So in marketing, I think getting effective communication skills is at the core of any marketing drive or campaign. And also with credit unions, you know, the 17th of October will be World Credit Union Day.
Right.
And credit unions are still very misunderstood in the sense that you have people who cannot read, people who cannot write, people who may not be able to read everything there is about law and statutes of banks and credit unions, but who are earning money and need to use these credit unions.
Right.
In training, we're telling the officials that they need to break down their policies and communicate effectively to the retail seller in the market who may not be able to write out his own name in creating an account. We're telling them to make sure they can communicate to the person who is illiterate, as well as communicate to the government minister who is probably very knowledgeable in things that concern the credit union. So, yeah, it was just drawing the attention to the needs of the public and training them.
Please re-enter the number you are calling.
Okay, Komi Musa, the running off that talk from Bamenda, Cameroon. Komi and Wamusi just ended a workshop on upgrading media skills through the use of word and picture. Okay, we're about to run off this episode of African Fiesta. Let's go back to this tragic one. Cameroon just lost one of its iconic musicians in the person of Joe Mbole. Joe Mbole died a few days back, but then his music plays on. And so we are ending this episode of African Fiesta in a very low mood. And of course, Valerie Dulafe is going to accompany us in this tribute to the legend.
Oni pula pena na timbe mboaso betate bena bande na bote liwae.
The death of Georges Ludovic Joboule hit the Cameroonian population earlier on Sunday morning, the 11th of October 2015, as fans were planning to go to church. Joe Mbule was born in Douala, and his musical career started in 1972 when the artist was just 19 years of age. He released his first single. Several singles followed before he finally recorded his first LP on the Safari Ambiance label in the late 1970s. In 1980, he founded his own record label, Tempo Records. He released many albums in the mid-80s, and he dropped down and started being irregular from 1986 to 1992 and 1996, with just CDs being produced. In 2002, Joe released a best-of CD. The singer and songwriter was seen as the pioneer of Makossa as he held the hands of many. Prince, Dedi Eyango, Ben Deka, and the list is long. His popular song, known as Malaba, gained him his notoriety as fans could identify themselves and comfortably say, yes, Joe Mbule is an icon. So Saturday the 11th of October 2015 goes down in history. Joe Mbule, should I call him Georges Ludovic Joboule, died at the Douala Hospital at the age of 67 from an undisclosed illness. He leaves behind the community, fans, loved ones, and 13 children. But as we say in Cameroon, an artist never dies. He remains proudly Cameroonian. Yes, proudly Cameroonian.
Proudly Cameroonian, an artist never dies. Valerie Dulafe there paying tribute to the legendary Joe Mbule. And so that's how we put a full stop to this 19th episode of African Fiesta on Apex One Radio. This day, Wednesday, October the 14th, 2015, it was a very big and dynamic team that kept you company this day. Delicacy Akosia, Central African correspondent, Yaoundé, Cameroon. Valerie Dulafe, Central African correspondent, Douala, Cameroon. Ifana Kuala, Belgium correspondent, Titus Banya, who reported this day from Mutengene. South African correspondent, Solomon Atta, Johannesburg. African Tele Review, Crystal Beauty. African Music Time, Maxel Adig. Resource person number 1, Ken Shalimonet. Resource person number 2, Suleiman Koyati. Resource person number 3, Matthew Ayon. Content Critique, The White Bokery, African Fiesta Online Promo Banner, Emmanuel Aji. Guest at large number 1, Mukisa Sheila Houston. Guest at large number 2, Adela Elat. Guest at large number 3, Wamusi. Guest at large number 4, Komi Musa. Guest at large number 5, Emily Siwe. Collaboration, Christina.
guerrier, Negro City, oh, I love you, oh, Angelo Kabila. Negro Croné, cheveux crépus, ah oh, joli guerrier, oh, I love you, oh, vieille même à Céline. Tu gardes ton nom pas si, tu gardes ton nom pas là, à la portée de l'univers, oh, l'Afrique se meurt, oh.